Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And Hollywood's coming for us, guys. They're coming for us. They want us. I could do one of those like really hyperbolic thumbnails, be like, Hollywood wants us dead. But they want our jobs. They want to unionize YouTube.
Yeah,
And,
no, I have a big problem with this on so many levels.
we're going to talk about this because they have been pushing into the unions, both Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA. They've been trying to push into influencer spaces as YouTube and other platforms become more and more important to the entertainment ecosystem. And now YouTube is like the biggest TV platform. They want a piece of that, right? They want to get in there and get their cut. And they're going to push now. And I think they're all going to push. We know that SAG-AFTRA was trying to get influencers into their ranks during the strikes. They actually told people like us that if we talked about Hollywood at all during the strikes, that they could potentially ban us from membership at some point.
And if you watch those videos, you heard us tell them to kindly get bent on several occasions.
Oh, absolutely.
Not so kindly get bent, more likely, but yes.
And if you watch those videos during the strikes, we said it was going to backfire tremendously on Hollywood. And guess what? Hollywood has never recovered from the double strikes. In fact, more and more stuff is being outsourced. More and more stuff is being punted to AI. They're canceling a lot of shows rather than spend money on these yahoos. And the whole ecosystem's collapsing. So now they want to go after YouTube.
Yeah, because they need to make up for the fact that a lot of the writers, as we said what happened, are gone. And so now they have to find new pay pigs to pay dues and to get cuts of their income from. So now they want to expand into, YouTube and the creator economy, because more and more things like podcasts and things like that are going towards YouTube and video.
Yes, in some cases, multi-million-dollar deals for these like celebrity podcasts, and they want to get a cut. Yeah. And that's really what it boils down to. So let's talk about this, because I know SAG-AFTRA already has an influencer agreement, and they actually sent us an invite. It was a while ago, and they're like, oh yeah, because you have to meet certain criteria for it. You basically have to be like, most of your income derived from, or you have to be somewhat full-time or something. You have to make X number of dollars per year. And they're like, you guys want to join? I'm like, fuck no.
Well, I guess from this article, if you're on the East Coast of the WGA, they already have something similar to this in play, but they want to do this on the West Coast of the WGA.
All right. And they're all going to push for this because they have no place else to go. Hollywood, as we've known it, is drying up. And these guilds the unions don't have nearly as much pull as they used to. They were trying to shame James Earl Jones' family for using his voice via AI. He sold his voice. His family sold his voice. They agreed to sell his voice. They were mad that some other actor couldn't take over the role of Darth Vader.
Well, they didn't get a cut.
They didn't get a cut. And that's we don't
sum this all up by they didn't get a cut.
Yeah. And we're at a place right now where we really don't need unions like we used to. I mean, let's be honest. In fact, I think a lot of studios eventually are going to be like, yeah, let's just sidestep it completely because it costs too much, right? I mean, it costs too much. And it's like, I think a lot of this, the double strikes, I think definitely hastened the advent of AI. Like, I think a lot of people in Hollywood were on the fence, and then they're like, oh shit, we can't shut down because they're shut down. So we got to have a fallback. And if AI is the solution to it, if outsourcing is the solution, Netflix was like, yeah, we'll just bring more shows in from Korea. And that's, you basically force their hand, and now they got to go to YouTube. So let's talk about that. And we're going to talk about, again, speaking of Korea, Park Chan-wook being ousted from the WGA. He said he didn't do anything wrong. And that's another problem I have. I saw Adam Conover lording over people. And
Adam Conover can just suck a bag of dicks. He ruins everything.
He does ruin everything.
So, it's funny to me, though, because they're going to, that's what I'm worried about. So they're already, doing this in Hollywood. We all know it's like the mafia. They have it on lockdown. You have to be a person in the union or you can't do things. Like, you're not allowed to do it unless you're union. Yeah. And the studios will be punished if they're not hiring a union. And they want to do the same thing here. So if you're not in the union, you can't be doing YouTube and shit. And it's like, hell no. Hell to the no.
Yep. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo.
check this out. Go out to Kickstarter. If you go to badorcs.com, you can go directly to that page. We have orc pins. We have bad orc pins. Orcs are assholes, just like some people in Hollywood. And here we go.
Where's your Adam pin?
Yeah, we don't have the Adam gone over orc pin. Yeah, but you can check these pins out for yourself. We've got the prototypes in. They're actually pretty good size. You can see how big they are compared to a quarter.
I think the farting idiot one is the closest you have to him.
He's got the coif. We need to make it blonde, put some glasses on him.
There
we go. So this comes from the Hollywood Reporter. Writers Guild aims to organize where the work is, YouTube verticals, and the creator economy. WGA West political candidates are talking about unionizing influencer-led companies and vertical dramas. Is the new frontier as labor-friendly as Hollywood? The new frontier. You guys are like 20 years late.
Well, they said, I think the East Coast has been doing this already since like 2011 or something. That they have similar things that crossed over into this new domain, but the West Coast is trying to catch up.
So they're talking about how the labor group added animation primetime writers. Yeah, because they're, again, if I recall correctly, animation people were covered by a different union, and then they're like, okay, let's get the primetime writers in there. In 3, 5, or 10 years, could vertical iPhone-sized content writers, YouTubers, and other content creators be next? That's the vision presented by multiple candidates for this year's WGA West Board and Officers election, who are reacting to reduce, oh my God, who could have foreseen this coming, who are reacting to reduce TV and film hiring with calls for the union to expand. Oh my God.
What?
We are sitting on a shrinking iceberg and must be willing to look beyond our current employers. Who fucking called that?
Basically, a couple of years ago, there was these people who said, hey, guys, what's going to happen is that you're going to get more, but you're going to have a lot fewer of you working. And they knew it. That's why they were trying to mandate 20 people writers' rooms and shit. They didn't win that. And fast forward, that's exactly what happened. So now we're going to have to go get the plebs. The plebs. Do you remember like when SAG-AFTRA and stuff? Yeah, they were threatening people like us, Now we're going to have to get the people we were threatening to come join because we don't have enough dues and cut of their income. And what are you going to do look, if people want to join a union because, they feel like that would have more protections and insurance and stuff. Okay, I get it. The problem again with these unions is they come into an area, they come into the Hollywood, and then you have to do what they say or face consequences. I do not want them in the creator space.
Yeah.
That kind of defeats the point of creator space.
Incumbent board member Adam Conover devoted nearly all of his statement to an organizing narrative focusing especially on the creator economy. Like it or not, this is the future of television, he said of YouTube. He doesn't like it because it's not that big here.
It is the future. It is the future, but we don't want you in charge of it.
Half of the candidates in this year's election brought up the need for the union to look beyond film and TV, not just to verticals in YouTube, but also podcasts and video games. Good fucking luck with that. In 2024, the number of WGA West members reporting earnings was down 24% compared with 2022, the last comparable year not interrupted by a strike.
Who saw that coming? Again?
Who fucking called that? Everybody said we were like anti-union. Everybody said we didn't know what the fuck we're talking about. And so many of these people, our biggest critics, are still fucking out of work. Who called that?
Mm-hmm. It's just common sense. And we don't want you taking over these spaces. Like, I don't want these guys coming into YouTube and podcasts.
No, stay the fuck out.
And what they're going to do is they're talking about, I think the people that were hired to write. Well, luckily we don't hire anybody to write this stuff. We just make it and pull it out of our ass. So there you go.
The union has also disclosed that television writing jobs during the 2023-2024 season were down 42%. Oh my God. It's almost like they're canceling this shit because it was overpriced and God, it's ridiculous. But this is fine, guys. Clownfish TV was lying to you. We were lying to you about what was going to happen after the strike.
Yeah. And we're not, we're telling you the truth now. If they get hold of this stuff, I don't know what to tell you. Because Hollywood, this is another case, like we saw it with Late Night. Hollywood cannot stand that they are losing. They cannot stand that they don't have control. So now they're going to try to shift their control. And it'll start out like, oh, we're just here to help those who want to join. We're just here to help those who might want insurance and all this other stuff. We're just here for that. And then you get enough people, and then it's like, well, now you have to go through us and give our permission. And if you don't play ball with us, you don't get to play ball at all. And that's what's going to happen, because that's what's already happened. And at that point, like I said, piss off.
Yep. So here we go. At this point, film and television work has been so squeezed that writers are seeking employment in all sorts of other places and considering different options. And in that process, they're naturally exploring the boundaries of where entertainment writing is going. Yeah, basically, they're all trying to come over. Well, that's what Conover did when they had the writers. He thought it was going to go down like 2007, 2008, when Hollywood was basically on its knees because they all...
That was a different time. And linear TV, it wasn't streaming like it is now. It was linear. You had to have these writers.
So it's a logical pivot. In contrast, the union sibling in New York, the WGA East, has been pushing hard beyond the court. Yeah, for a decade.
Right.
Scribes who work at podcasting companies, nonfiction television, films, and digital news outlets have all been incorporated into the group since 2011.
Now, see, I think if you're part of like a nonfiction, TV, and because it's supposed to be unscripted, but sometimes it is, and like digital news and stuff like that, I can kind of understand some of that. But like, those are if you're being hired to write or work on these things. You can't, I just don't, knowing what I know about these people, I really don't think they'll end there. I think it'll come in starting as we're covering these small people. Oh, that's not enough. We have to take control over more things. And then they'll go make deals with, YouTube and Libsyn and Spotify and all them and try to be like, well, you have to follow what we say.
Yeah, and then and it's going to be ridiculous. I actually think there's a reason that they're talking. You're talking about podcasts, and I'm like, the reason I think non-scripted content, one, it's more authentic, and two, like you cut these writers out. Like if you're going to do some crime podcast or something and it's going to be unionized, well, the cost goes through the freaking roof now because you have to have union writers working on the. It's like no.
It's more nimble. People can like do their own show themselves. They're, like you said, more authentic. And they're more nimble, and there's low overhead, and for most of them, not all of them, and they get the audience. But they are mad because by them getting the audience, they're taking away from their Hollywood controlled audience, the Hollywood control, and they can't stand it. They have to have their fingers in every pie because they want all the money.
Yep.
But keep your fingers out of my pie.
Adam. I know he does ruin everything. Actually, Adam Conover has done more to ruin. As far as I'm concerned, in my personal opinion, he has done more to ruin the perception of unions with the general public than any other single person ever to work with these unions. Like Fran Drescher, at least she tried. Like I think she was honestly trying. Adam Conover.
What about Duncan Crabtree, Ireland?
Oh my God, people you'd never hear of. But at least I'll give Fran Drescher props for at least trying, and she seems like a real person. She's also stepping down too. I guess she's not going to do the SAG-AFTRA thing anymore, probably because of so much freaking backlash.
I don't know.
But Conover just strikes me as being a school marm. Like he wants to police all of the entertainment industry, and at the end of it. Like, dude, what is your credit? Like you had a short-lived reality show. You did a bunch of like college humor skits on YouTube. You went on Joe Rogan and choked because you really don't know as much as you pretend to know. And he got you like on several that like, oh, I don't know anything about that. I don't know, whatever. I mean, he just stumbled and bumbled through 2 hours with Joe Rogan because he's a dumbass. And now
now we got to take over the creator space so that I can control Joe Rogan.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it. You know what? That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like. It feels like he wants to take over the podcast space too. So it's like, well, Rogan, I'll show you. I'm going to use the union
I'm going to control your writers.
I'm going to control your writers. I'm like, I don't think he fucking has writers. So this is Park Chan-wook. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. He responds to WGA expulsion. That would have been Conover. That would have been on his watch. I have never violated any rules. This was just a couple days ago. So he responded to his expulsion from the Writers Guild of America, denying he violated union rules that forbade him from writing during the 2023 writers' strike. They revealed Friday that Park and Don McKellar had been kicked out for working on The Sympathizer, an HBO series based on a 2015 novel. Park's company, Moho Film, issued a statement to a newspaper in South Korea stating that the scripts for the show had been completed and the show had been shot when the strike began. on May 2nd. So the show was already in the can, and they kicked him out. Like, what the fuck? Who wants to play by those rules?
Well, that's just it. They make it so you have, it's a power trip. You want to work in Hollywood, you have to go through the unions. But then the unions are so, set up in such a way that only certain people ever get ahead. They can pull shit like this. It's like you have to kiss Adam's ring, and I'm not going to kiss your ring. I will ever shove that ring up your asshole.
He said at the time of the strike, the sympathizer was in post-production. Editing does not constitute writing, so it was permitted under WGA regulations. So the WGA maintains that even things like cutting down a scene for time constitute writing services that are forbidden during a... Oh, fuck off. Did you want this in the YouTube space? Because this is what you're going to get.
They'll find a way to control everything. I mean, at this point, they're going to say, oh, we're just trying to do this for people who want to be part of it and for things like, digital news, unscripted and stuff like that. But you're saying specifically YouTube and podcasts. So if you have writers on your YouTube and podcast show, or if you're writing your own material, they think they should have a right to have a cut and you have to pay them dues. And it's like, no.
Yeah, so this is some bullshit. And they expelled a bunch of people for supposedly writing during...
Yeah, it wasn't this guy. We talked about somebody else, but I forget who it was.
There were multiple people. This is the first I've actually heard of him. But there were some other people that got expelled too, and the one guy was kind of like groveling, and the other person's like, "Fuck you, I don't need you." And he said, this guy said that it has had no impact whatsoever on his work because they just step over.
They only can control you if you all let them.
Yeah. Yep.
Just saying, if you're trying to do other things that they don't get a cut of, and they're trying to come after you for a cut of that too, they don't let them.
Yep.
Tell them no.
Yep. That's just it. So anyway. Are we going to wrap this one up?
Yep.
We're definitely not going to be invited back into the union anytime soon.
Well, no, I don't want to be in the union anytime Adam Conover's there.
Fuck no. Hell no. All right. Please subscribe. We'll talk later.
Bye.
Attention, stupid humans. All orcs are evil, just like Gary Gygax and Professor Tolkien warned you. Series 1 of these orc enamel pins are on Kickstarter again for a very limited time. Pick your clan, join the Horde, and cause some mayhem. Go to badorcs.com. That's badorcs.com.